Let's take a look at how the room looked like before. So now they're trying to take the wires out that are going to be housing the television out from behind the granite. This is very stressful. And now, how we transformed it. Hi, this is Lauren K Design, here to show you a renovation top to bottom. So the first part when you start a project like this is to come up with a concept, which to me is always function, mood, style. Of course, style. You gotta have a style. And we start with our floor plans and drawings made by our team, including Leah. And then after that, we actually do a beautiful rendering. So you can see your space completely done before you actually spend a penny. Here comes the exciting part. Once it's approved, of course, we need the client to approve it. Now we get into the nitty-gritty. First things first to this amazing transformation is to take out the columns that look like this. So both columns had to be removed, and we chose to actually leave a little part to keep a bit of separation. I'm just kidding, it's because there's ventilation in here and we had no choice. Those columns were very beautiful, but the client wanted to modernize the space. So working with our wonderful architects and again our team to actually draw out the plans, we were able to create a wonderful transitional coffered ceiling. So now let's transform the fireplace that used to look like this and turn it into this. Once you've established your mood, you know your color scheme, because obviously we do the 3D renderings, it's time for paint color. And believe it or not, paint color is definitely not the first thing that I choose when it comes to designing a room. It's actually probably the last thing I choose. But when it comes to paint, you have to get the samples. All of these paint colors turned out so different. It is unbelievable. So it is worth investing in actually the little samples that are $8 to $15 instead of buying your 3 gallons or whatever, spending all this money and having to restart. I always say at least get 3 samples. One that's a cool color, one that's a warmer color of the actual color that you want, and one that's completely random that you think it probably won't look good. And I'm telling you, you're probably gonna like the random one. Now, when it comes to budget, obviously that is the most important part, because we can't design without having a budget. But let me tell you something. The most important part is to stick to your guns. What you absolutely love, like this table in the dining room that this client loved, we kept and we made it work. And you have to buy your bigger pieces that you know are gonna be a little bit more expensive, big sectional perhaps. Then you see how much you have left for the other things. Now for this project, we knew that the big fireplace with the marble was gonna be quite a large investment. We adjusted our furniture for that. So we started with the most important part that we cannot live without, obviously seating. So the big sofa was first. Let's bring it together, because right now it looks kind of flat, which is a problem that a lot of people have. So let's go. Leah, let's get started. What do we got? So do you see how bad this looks? It's because you need to do some layering when dressing up a table. You can't just buy something at the store, it's gonna fall flat. Put your personality in it. So what I did is I asked the owners of the house to give me some pieces that they like, some photo albums, whatnot, some old boxes, whatever. So they gave me a few pieces, so we're gonna check it out. So this is a random box that I found in the client's house, because yes, I will go rummaging through your things. The point is to just layer things, and so let's try it out to bring this room together. And that's not even the same gold. Who cares? That's what makes it look lived in. Now, let's move on to the rest of the space. Since we invested a lot of money in the sofa and the built-in and the coffee table, we decided to go with chairs that look expensive, but that are much lower on the scale of price. And we're gonna make them look good and fit in, as well as this coffee table, which basically the reason why we went with this coffee table, it would have been way too obvious to go with like a gold coffee table. It's like, okay, you tried to do matchy. But what we did do is that we still brought in the circular shape. But because these chairs are white, we needed to bring in a bit of the darkness from the sofa. Budget-wise, we didn't have that much left for curtains, but there's a lot of choices out there. What we wanted to do is balance out the room because we have white chairs, dark sofa. Let's bring in some darker curtains. Now these are $40 curtains. We use 2 tones, 2 colors. And when the clients have the money to, we might do custom, but right now, I think it just balances everything out. Now that we have gotten the plans, the elevations, the 3D renderings of the built-ins, it's time to actually build it. And when it's empty, it looks like this. Now we chose some layering like this and like that to make it fun and exciting, but we still put molding around it to make it still a little bit more traditional. Now here's the thing, what do you fill it up with? How? So let me give you some tips and tricks on how to fill it up. So step number 1 is going to the store and buying your matchy stuff like this gold, the black, the obvious things, but only buy a quarter of the quantity that you need to fill up your spaces. What we don't want to do is have it look like this. Now it's all too common, I see it all the time, people that try and make it look good, but it's like you tried too hard. Too matchy. Once you've gotten these things that are very matchy from the store, now time to go rummage through your home. Or in my case, I go rummage through your home. So here we have exactly what I spoke about, which is basically we have some obvious pieces, and then we have this old jewelry box that I found of the client, a chessboard that they actually play with. Get some stuff that you love, because at the end of the day, it's your home and you want to have your family pictures exposed. The things that you love in your built-in, not just try and make it look good. Let's actually love our home that we live in and make it functional for everybody. So the points that you should remember about doing a renovation. First of all, make sure that you know exactly what your goals are. Make sure that you actually invest in the right people to do the job. Because if you decide to try and do it yourself, it just might not be your forte. That's why there are professionals that can help you out. So basically, it's about having a schedule, a timeline, and especially having your priorities right. Priority number 1 is functionality. Why are you doing this? What do you want from it? And if you have kids or this, that, probably not a good idea to get a sharp glass table. So make sure that it works with your lifestyle. Step number 2 is getting all the components in order and to have an actual schedule, a goal, a plan. Step number 3 is actually the most important step. Get a budget together. That way you can know exactly with your priorities what's the most important thing that you need to start on, and then you adjust from there. So like in this renovation, they wanted to have the coffered ceilings. Cha-ching. So that took a chunk out of their budget. From there, we had the rest of the budget to play around with. So we didn't go with custom curtains. We went with curtains that don't cost that much, but still look great. Step number 4 is don't make things too obvious, too matchy. Like I said, these paintings, we just printed a photo off the internet and it works. So that's cool. And step number 5, the most important step, is make sure that you feel at home. Not like you can't like sit in your own living room, or it's all things that really don't represent you. Represent yourself, your style, have the right mood, but it's all about you and loving your home. I hope you learned a lot in this video. Make sure to contact me if you have any questions, and check it out is Katia Lorrain from Lord K Design. See you next time.